Mineral hot springs, or the so-called onsens, have for thousands of years been a huge part of Japanese history and culture. You might have seen such places yourself in various nature documentaries. But if we believe the locals, these baths are for more than just relaxing. They're said to reduce chronic pain and even cure depression. And so today, I want to try them out as a foreigner and figure out myself if they really are as nice and magical as they say. And of course, we will also show you what the whole experience looks like. But as some of you might know, then finding an onsen in Japan that hasn't been overrun by visitors can be a bit of a challenge.
Today we're going somewhere remote.
And so, we started a 4-hour journey northeast from the city of Hiroshima. Yet believe it or not, for the first time in our lives, we were truly excited to use public transport because we were going to ride one of those. Commuting on a Japanese bullet train was quite an experience. We're traveling about 250 kilometers in 55 minutes. It's crazy. And we're making a stop in the middle, like it's 300 kilometers per hour. I honestly don't understand why the rest of the world isn't using those bad boys. Oh wait, I actually do know.
Money, money, money.
Yeah, it does not grow on trees. But anyway, after another 2 hours on a local train that took us through lush forests and stunning green valleys, we finally arrived. Arigato! We have now just made it to the small town called Kinosaki Onsen.
And it's a spoiler alert. If there is an onsen in the name, it means there is hot springs.
Yes, this town has been known for its mineral healing waters for 1300 years by now. However, before we could start discovering, we needed to check ourselves into a guest house. This is us.
Yeah.
So as soon as we walked in, there's a lot of shoes waiting for us and a very kind and warm welcome. My shoes are a little bit small, but I think they're just not used to like huge Viking feet. Japanese people have tiny cute feet. The price of our room was around $110. It was built in traditional Japanese style, with walls made of paper-like materials shoji. Yeah, the walls are paper. And bedding laid out straight on the ground. Straight away we got a taste of Japanese hospitality. But to our surprise, the guest house also came with few extra benefits. How it works is that if you book a night here, you get the pass to all of the hot springs. And also they provided us with yukatas, which are like thin summer kimonos. She's trying to tell us how to wear the traditional clothes. Well, we never knew that we would actually need training to put on something that looks like a robe. Alrighty, now that we're settled in, I guess it's finally time to dress up and hit the town. Now it was time for the big reveal. I thought it was gonna be a big epic reveal, but walking around in those traditional shoes was times harder than we expected. We sort of felt like drunk pirates with two wooden legs.
I think it's like a rite of passage that you have to walk in those before you can enter any onsens.
Yet looking strange is nothing new to us. No problem. Arigato. And so in our own speed, we continued discovering the cultural importance of this place. Well, talking about rites of passage, there actually is a thing that you have to do before you can enter the hot pools. It's not mandatory anymore in modern world, but hundreds and thousands of years ago, it was something you had to do before you were allowed to enter any of the pools. First off, we needed to climb a mountain on the other side of Kinosaki Onsen. It's a bit of a hike, I must say.
This is a proper, like, a rite of passage.
We have made it to the temple dedicated to the guardian of the onsen. So hundreds and thousands of years ago, before people could analyze the water, do science with it, realize that there are minerals in there that have healing properties for your bodies. It was believed that those hot pools, each and every one of them had a guardian, like a saint, like a godlike being who watched over them and gave them those properties. And so before you were able to go and visit the hot pools down there, you had to come up the mountain and ask the permission from the guardian of the hot pools. But after a few minutes on top of the hill, it sort of looks like the guardian and the temple have taken a day off. It's closed. So instead, we're gonna ask this little Buddha for his blessing. Well, I think that's as close to a yes as we're gonna get. So now, let's go down and see what are the onsens like themselves. And we are closing in on our first hot spring. Altogether, there are about 3,000 of such bathhouses in Japan. I think that's it. And what defines an onsen is the mineral-rich water that originates from deep inside the earth and is heated up by volcanic activity. Some of them have light blue, milky water, just like the hot springs in Iceland. Others can be clear, with slight sulfur smell all around them. And for more than 3,000 years, they've been a huge part of local culture. It goes so far that it is against the law to call a regular bath an onsen. And the town that we were in is home to 7 of such public baths. All of them are a little different from each other in style. So one by one, we started testing them out. And after each visit, we felt more and more relaxed. How are you feeling?
Tired, soaked, but very relaxed.
I guess it took us about 1.5 hours until we were totally in love with this place. Honestly, the more time I spend here, the more I feel like that it's not only the baths, it's like the energy or like the way this town has been built. The small quiet streets, relaxing atmosphere, and people in traditional clothing that the strange foreigner just does not know how to describe. It's sort of funny, it's like a city of bathrobes. There are many medical benefits associated with bathing here, and we will talk about those in a minute. Yet there was also one big obstacle while making this video. The rules in the onsen are actually quite strict. You see, with the long history and cultural importance of those baths, they also come with a long list of rules and regulations. And so filming inside an onsen is strictly prohibited. But luckily, in the middle of the night, I was able to film the bath in our guest house. And although it was smaller and not as fancy as the public baths, then still, together with our description, we can paint you a word picture of how exactly does this experience look like. So in onsens, men and women are always separated, and it started by like you're going to this big locker room.
Big locker room where there's...
Yeah, you leave your clothes, you strip down as naked as you can. Like, it's quite surprising that you're actually not allowed to wear clothes. It's not optional, like.
It's a very humbling experience as well, because even though we are used to saunas in Estonia and getting naked and everything, it was like I'm in a foreign country and now we're doing this
Yeah.
naked with all the other ladies.
And then you take your little cloth with you. You're gonna go to the first bathroom. And this one, it actually reminded me a lot of
Turkish baths.
Turkish baths, exactly. There's a lot of showers next to each other. So everybody goes, everybody washes themselves. And when you're totally clean, then you go into hot pools. Pool is like 45, maybe even 50 degrees. It's burning. People usually spend 15 to 30 minutes soaking in the pool. And then take a little break with a refreshing drink.
I got a jar of milk. I got a jar of milk.
The procedure is repeated, and doing this regularly has been proven to lower blood pressure, improve circulation, and due to the minerals in the water, it even reduces chronic pain. No wonder it's so popular here in Japan, yet perhaps even more importantly, these bathhouses are also a place of connection and community. There are hundreds of onsen clubs all over the country where members meet each other a couple of times a week in the hot springs. And as there's no distractions around, it creates a relaxed atmosphere and gives the participants time to connect and talk with each other. Hashtag bromance. And I'm pretty sure that having safe spaces like these, where we can share and communicate, happens to also be the main reason why people who use onsens often say that this practice helped them overcome depression. As we exited the last bath, our bodies were soft and minds at ease. It's sort of like meditative state, your body is doing its own thing. Felt beautiful. We felt like we had been freed from the troubles of the world. And for 1300 years now, people have been coming to this town for the very same feeling. There's no rush, there's no urgency. Everybody here is just calm, relaxed, and it adds so much to the whole place. It's easy to lose ourselves in a world that seems to be moving faster and faster each day. But traditions and experiences like this help me remember that our personal health and life itself is a balance between rest and movement.